little things. And then I got that one drumstick, and it was the first band that we had played here. I was like, I need one of those drumsticks, had them sign it, and it goes up there, so it's going to go in our new place.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. The battery died on 903. So if you look at the time, it was 903. So we're like, I could take a beer and age it for 30 days that tastes like it's been in the barrel for a year.
Wow.
Because it pulls so much flavor. There's zero adjuncts in this. This is our base 13% stout. So in our base
903. Now I came out last week to see our guy Jeremy. We just met him. Man, what a good time we had meeting him and I. Today I'm bringing the crew out. Jimmy G, the boss man himself, our guy Tim from the Whiskey Blendery. They're friends. They work together. We got some beer in a barrel. So stay tuned, man. This is going to be exciting. Guy's been interviewed by Forbes. He's got some of the best flavored beer I've ever had in my life.
mash paddle. So that's the board. That was my original mash paddle. When it broke, I immediately hung it up because I knew that was gonna, most people would just throw it away.
No, that's history for you.
So that's my first one. And then I got that one drumstick, and it was the first band that we had played here. I was like, I need one of those drumsticks, had them sign it, and it goes up there, so it's gonna go in our new place.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That mash paddle's cool.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
So I try to tell that story. And then another funny thing was on what's up, buddy? How are you? One of our longtime regulars made that sign for us.
Oh, wow.
And I know it sounds like a bullshit story, but no, literally the battery died on 903. So if you look at the time, it was 903. So we're like,
get the fuck out of here.
So it's
pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, it's just a dead battery. And so the guy was like,
it stopped right at 903. That's crazy.
So the guy's like, I'm gonna replace it. I'm like, no, leave it, because it's really fucking. But it is an actual working clock.
That's cool, man.
And then we just got our medals that we've won hanging from it.
That's cool as fuck.
And then these, so we used to, before they sold, had a really good relationship with Balcones. And they used to only do in 5-gallon barrels. So those, our first barrel-aged stout we ever did was in the Balcones 5-gallon barrels, which was in a pain in the ass to do.
They're little barrels, right?
But, yeah, 5-gallon little barrels.
I got one of those.
But I could take a beer and age it for 30 days that tastes like it's been in the barrel for a year.
Wow.
Because it pulls so much flavor surface. Now we had hundreds of them. So I took those, we made some lights, and then over here, up here, we just cut it in half.
I got one of those barrels I've seen. Might have to fucking take that and do something with it.
Yeah, and then you can do it, make lights. Oh, look at that, they're dirty. But we're gonna take those to the place too.
That's cool.
Sick, dude. It's all those little things, man. Look.
Yeah, the little touches, nuances and touches is cool. It's like your fingerprints all over it. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but this building that we're in, it's a super old building. From what we could find, is it was built in 1893. The room that we're in.
Wow.
In the 70s, they built that room, and in the back room. And this has been a lot of things, but in this whole complex, this was their maintenance shop. So this is where when stuff broke, they'd bring it over here and fix it. And then over years, it became a lot of other things. But it was a cabinet shop. So like the air compressor parts that we still there, well, mainly because we were lazy, we never took them down. We just painted over it.
Yeah.
But it has so much character and history to this building.
It's
I mean,
good.
look at this thing, man.
The history behind it is cool, man.
So we painted this room. We had to put HVAC in this room. I mean, we really made this room special. Brought it back to life.
And you're done with this though when you leave here?
Yeah, we're done. Like our lease is up, so we've got to move. So I'm gonna, part of it is like you go to a parade or you go to a car show, you see all these old cars. You're like, oh, that's so badass, right? But it's the money, time, effort that goes into that old car.
100%.
You're like, people tell you don't buy one. An old building, everybody's like, oh, I miss this. It's got a lot of problems. the nice thing about our new building that we're going into, both of those are super old. Like the one in Sherman, I think was the 1880s is what year that building was built. One in Denison was early 1900s, but been completely stripped, all redone.
Nice.
The bones are all staying.
Yeah.
So
it's got the original bones, but it's just been revamped inside.
I mean, everything from the walls and the floor and everything else is new going into it. We didn't have that luxury in here.
Yeah.
So.
But you were leasing this, right? You're purchasing this other place?
So the Sherman one, no. I'm leasing it, but one of my investors owns the one in Denison.
Nice.
So it'll be part of our family business.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is.
Are you gonna miss this place?
Yeah. Well, I got
Nostalgia from it.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah. I can relate to that.
But location of the new one and just being downtown, we're gonna get tons more foot traffic.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're coming here, you came here to us. Versus Sherman, you bounce around from other bars, other places, other shops to come see us.
Yeah, you're gonna increase your foot traffic tremendously being
Big time.
downtown.
Big time. 702 is weeded.
It's a wheat whiskey. 95% wheat whiskey.
This is Wilson.
That's all I have to tell you.
Jimmy Gibbs.
Jimmy, good to meet you.
How you doing?
Good.
Jamarcus, pleasure.
Jamarcus, good to meet you. Trevor, man. Trevor, good to meet you.
Tim.
Tim, good to meet you.
Tim is he's the Blendery. So he brought us this barrel today.
Brought you a good one.
Sweet.
Real good.
That's a buff turkey barrel, right?
Yeah, it's a 16-year-old wild turkey barrel. So, yeah, actually, I brought you the rest of that. It's not a turkey bottle,
Okay.
a half-open one. So that way you can know what was in it and what it tastes like.
So this one was he was telling us it's a 95% wheated. So I think that's the reason why it tastes the way that it does, from what we're used to from Iron Root, and probably what we'll get from this barrel.
Is it super sweet?
I'll let you try it. See. You ready?
Say something. I won't say.
All right, cool.
Don't influence.
I don't want to influence any kind of flavor. Yeah, let's just see what happens.
So other than like, for me, whenever I first started hanging out at Iron Root, the way that they sample and you guys sample barrels is, you can just pour it right back in, right? And it doesn't matter if anything gets in it. Like for us,
Oh yeah.
we don't want it.
Yeah.
That thing is tar, man.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
You are some
Contamination is probably a real issue for you, huh?
Big time. So we actually on our barrel program.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We brewers to be nameless. Let's see, we got one more. I've already had a little bit. But one of the things that we do is, like, if we have a barrel that we don't like, or it's infected, or it shows early signs of infection, it sucks, but we'll dump it. So for us, when we put a beer in the barrel, it could be good or it could be bad. There's no, we'll see, right? So there's a lot. It's a barrel program for a brewery. It's very, very expensive. The way we count everything is once we put it in the barrel, it's just icing on the cake. So if a beer goes bad, it just goes down the drain. So what we look for in early signs is green apple is a flavor that shows early signs of infection.
Green apple?
Green apple.
Wow.
Nail polish is another one that's it's gone.
Okay.
So we bought, this is 7 years ago, because it was 2 years before COVID. We had 20 Scotch barrels from a distillery to be. I'm not going to leave it. I'm not going to name it.
Okay.
But in our mind, they were going to, just like this barrel was dumped, we got it. When Iron Root dumps a barrel, we're very fortunate enough to get the barrels really quickly. We want to put beer in it as fast as we can. Those Scotch barrels, they could have been sitting out on their back for 2 years, and then it goes through customs and we get it. Well, the first 6 months, because we usually taste them every month. We didn't on a few of these, especially this one, because we knew this would be fine. Everything was fine. The first 6 months, we were like, this is going to be a great barrel age release. We ended up having to dump all 20 of those barrels. All of them had strong green apple or strong nail polish. Smell it, taste it, you're like...
So if you pull it, so say it has green apple, because green apple's not a terrible note.
It is for beer.
If you bottle it with the green apple, then will it change? Yeah, it'll change.
It's going to get stronger.
It'll turn.
And it's going to turn even stronger. And most people that buy barrel aged beer, they don't drink it right then.
Yeah,
They're going to cellar it.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and then they get it, and then you can see on Untapped. There's a brewery that did that, and their barrel program is just basically non-existent now because they released that to the market, and they're a really good brewery, but it just went bad. All right, so if you want to grab you one of these.
Go ahead, Bubba.
So there's zero.
Got a great nose.
There's zero adjuncts in this. This is our base 13% stout. So in our base 13% stout, it's heavy chocolate. Use a lot of chocolate malt, a lot of roasted malt to give it that color.
All right, let's get chocolate and vanilla, man. It's
Oh damn. That's good.
That's like a latte or something, man.
So this,
nice.
with this being the Suburban Dad's Club barrel, they want to do some type of coffee stout with it. So with the vanilla and the coffee. And so here's the way.
perfect base.
I like it as is.
Man,
I know it is.
So here's this is our original bright tank. It's a 3-barrel tank. So we measure in barrels. So 31.5 gallons equals a barrel for us, right? So this is a secret. I don't mind telling everybody. But how we do our coffee beers, most people just add coffee flavoring to it. What we do is we take whole beans and basically we recirc the coffee through our big tank and this tank for, well, we'll taste it every 12 hours. And basically what most people do when they do a coffee stout, it's too much coffee, makes it too bitter, and then it's just overpowering. You lose the barrel, you lose the stout flavor. So basically with us recirculating it over a whole bean, it's not gonna get that bitterness from coffee. It's just gonna pull all the coffee flavor that we want. Now, depending on
The beans roasted
Yes.
to a certain.
yes,
Yeah.
and so depending on the bean that we pull, is we know how long that we'll recirculate. Because there's been some before it hadn't pulled enough coffee flavor, and let's go another 12 hours.
Yeah.
Or we've had some that we've done for 36 hours. Basically, we cold brew it with the beer.
Oh,
That's what we do. So is there going to be caffeine in it? Yeah, there's going to be caffeine in it.
I like caffeine and
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah, I can't advertise that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I can't. But basically, most coffee beers should actually have caffeine in it.
Imagine that Kentucky candy like coffee.
Well, I just gave him another barrel, a double Jeopardy barrel, to make more barrel aged coffee out
That's
of
some
it.
good coffee.
Yeah,
We'll
it
have to
is.
give him some of that stuff. The stuff he aged in the candy.
Way.
No, wait.
So, I was a little nervous for y'all coming down, and I haven't tried it yet. So that's what
I mean, are you happy with it?
I'm very happy.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's tits, if you ask me. It's
Good.
Yeah, and I think, and depending on, do you know what kind of coffee bean would pair well with this, or
So that's what we're gonna sit down and now that we've tried it.
or do you do any kind of like, okay, here's 3 different beans, and let's put a little bit in there, and see which one turns out?
That's yes and no. What we'll do, because this was an SDC pick, we're gonna kind of ask them what they want.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes out as good as this, you don't want to lose too much of that flavor that it's already got.
Speaking my language, man. We say the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
But you just want to enhance it just a little bit. You don't want
to change it much, right? You just want to give it a little bit of extra something.
But you've had our carrot cake, our blueberry donut cake. So
Those are crazy.
one thing that we're known for is if it says it on the label, you're damn sure gonna taste it, right?
Yeah.
Where like you're like, it says it's a carrot cake, I don't taste any carrot cake. But 903, if it says it's gonna have it on there, then you know it's gonna taste like that.
I'm buying some of that shit. That's good.
Yeah, I'll look it up, but I'm almost positive that's the Dad's 107 barrel.
I think you're right.
So
That's a good barrel. That's a
I
good bottle.
might have one more. I might have a bottle of that. I'll bring you a bottle of that if I have one.
If not, I guarantee you Rodney does.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones that we released at the lower price point, at the $65 price point. So they got a really great bottle for $65, and so that sold out super fast. Yeah.
I just offered up a couple of those.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, this one, it's going to be a different. I think things are going to happen a lot faster in this barrel. Duffy, the McKinney Bourbon Collective guy, I gave him his barrel, the 15.5 year or 16-year barrel.
Cream saver?
No, I'm still using that one. I gave him one to make a cabinet out of it. When he cut that open, I'll have to pull up the picture. But
That's my barrel that you gave
the
me.
The whiskey went through like 95% through to the stave. Like
Yeah.
it almost looks like it like went all the way through.
That's the Buck and Turkey
Yes.
barrel.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the one you gave me. He's doing it for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like this. It penetrates. I mean,
when you open the door,
yes.
like look at that, and it's like it is
crazy.
because normally it's like half. You know, some of them are 60% that it penetrates through the white oak. This one is like it all the way through.
Kind of like this, where it's kind of coming through. Is that what you're talking about?
Now, here I'll show you.
I've got it somewhere here.
You just showed me a couple days ago.
I just showed him. Here, Tim.
Looking for the same photo.
It's like we're searching.
got it.
Old people like this. Where's it at?
Here it is. Look.
Look at that.
Same time too.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It goes all the way through.
We jinxed each other. Yeah,
Is that-
same shit, right?
But is that something you can't see till you cut it open?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was saying on this, like, look where the hinge is there. Like, look at that. Like, it goes all the way to the end.
Yeah, look.
Like, that's
Crazy. I mean, it
Yeah.
got all the way in the wood.
all the way up here. I've never seen it go that deep.
So let me ask you this: so like Iron Root, so like that was barrel 868. So they're very get close to getting. I get barrel 903, right?
Oh, okay.
So how do you? And if you can't say or you don't want to say, you don't have to. But like 97 and 702, how do you? What's the numbers?
So it tells us something. So we put the barrel numbers on the individual glasses whenever we're doing like a blending experience. So I don't want to say what our system is because we have a lot of people that I want them to blend to taste, and I don't tell them what it is. So if I explain how to do that, then people will know what it is. Yeah. So I will tell you off camera. Yeah.
Well,
I think he wants barrel 903 whenever you get it.
anything with 903, I want it. Because it's and when we go next door, I'll show you about the clock we talked about earlier. But like 903 is like my lucky number now.
Really?
Oh yeah, anything with
What
9.
made you come up with the 903?
So that's our area code.
Yeah. it's very good.
So it's our area code. So our first logo was Sherman Brewing Company. And I thought, that's kind of weird because we want to be larger than just Sherman because we want to be able to reach out to our whole community.
Sure.
So 903 goes all the way like to Anna, and then it goes over to, what's the big town? Then all the way, of course, to the river, to Texarkana, down to Lufkin, Tyler area.
Yeah, it's a big.
So it's a big area code, and it's our third area code. But it was the first one that we really knew once we had to start putting the numbers in the phone to call people.
Oh yeah.
So, it's like if they ever change our area code, we're gonna be like Prince, the former 903, right? We'll still leave it, even if it does change. But
So does that have a built-in like airlock, or does that pop up? Like
So it will. And,
Yeah.
and you really, like when we see them, the first time it did that, we kind of freaked out. But it's not pulling anything in, it's releasing like the CO2 gases.
So does that mean there's still some yeast in there?
It shouldn't be now.
Okay.
But it can. It can.
Because if it's giving off CO2, that means that it's
Well, so for example, in the summer, on top of our brew deck, it'll be 120 degrees. So we'll move these barrels around, and we want them to get hot because the beer's done fermenting. So, but it's gonna do this.
Yep.
And when it does, it's gonna create pressure
Yep.
into the barrel.
Yep.
So we've actually had it before where they popped out.
yeah. Which that could infect it, right?
It does.
Yeah.
And we've actually had them before where it has over the weekend, and we're like, oh shit. But the barrel's been fine.
I'm surprised you don't like ratchet strap that thing in, or
And again, we try to let the beer do what the beer does to the barrel,
Yeah.
right? Versus to try to control it. But if those barrels that we got that were infected, that were Scotch barrels, already were infected by the time that we got them.
They were just old, you think?
well, sometimes I've noticed that from overseas. Sometimes they'll put a solution in there. Sometimes it's like a
Damn.
sulfuric acid kind of thing. Sometimes they'll just put water. Like we just got a white port barrel, and it had like water. Like it was 0 proof, but they do it just to make sure that the barrel stays wet. But it doesn't.
Doesn't that dilute
It does.
Okay.
So even like as we put whiskey in, the proof of the whiskey is going down because the water that's inside the wood is now going into the whiskey, and so the proof is going down even more.
Yeah.
And that's not what we wanted. We didn't want that water.
Hell no.
So you,
barrel, dump that whole thing in there.
yeah. So now we dump it. We let it dry out. And then put some dump whiskey in to resaturate it, so it just takes longer to prep the barrel so we can use it.
Well,
Yeah.
that kind of sucks, but I guess you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yep.
Well, and that's why we like getting fresh barrels. You know what I mean? So, and two, we're very picky where we get our barrels from. And hence why we try to use local, and Iron Root's like our family, so most of our barrels are theirs. I think this will be our 4th Blendery barrel that we've received, and what's awesome about these is a lot of these are going to pull the same flavor. They're going to taste the same from Iron Root. But I mean, obviously, the way that you source your barrels, they're going to. And obviously, Iron Root doesn't have a 95% wheated barrel, so this is going to taste different than anything we've ever had before.
So I was going to ask you. So when I loaded this up, I noticed that there's still a lot of char rolling around in here. You want that? Okay.
We want that, and we filter that out before it goes in.
That's gotta be a good barrel.
This is gonna be a good one.
I can't wait to try the beer you make with it.
Well, the beauty is, you gave me this barrel, so you'll get to come in and decide what you want to do with it. Like because I know if this was yours, you may say, I don't want to do nothing to it. But like one of the things that we like to do is like when someone gives us a barrel, whether it's from a club pick or wherever, is I mean, obviously, kind of like when I went blended the other day, you were like, here's 3, and you kind of play with it. These are 3 that you let us try. The same thing we like to do is like we kind of give you some options, but you're a little different than anybody else. So I'm going to say, well, what do you want to do with it, right?
Oh, cool.
And until you try it, because we'll put the same base, the 13% stout in there, and then you'll get to pick all the adjuncts, the flavors that you want with it.
Yeah. So so that's why I wore this shirt. So the Bourbon and Rye Society, this was the barrel pick that they did. So they got one of the first 16-year barrel picks, and so I'll reach out to them, and I'll send them a video before we leave that this barrel's here, because there's a lot of stout drinkers in that club still. So they'll be excited that we're doing this. So
What we found too is even like, especially with like whether it was the Suburban Dads Club or DFW Whiskey Club, is there's people that in their mind, I don't like beer. And then if we do a barrel release with them, they're like, well, I want to buy it because it was a club pick, right? And then they get it and they're like, holy shit, this is really, really good.
Love it.
And so we've gained so many new customers from that. Because if they didn't realize how much they appreciate, or they just like barrel aged stouts.
Yeah, well, they got exposed to it. Now they try it. Like, damn. That's really what got me into sipping whiskey was bourbon barrel aged beers. Before that, it was beer and a shot of whiskey. That's how I drank. And then 2012, 2013, I started getting into the bourbon barrel aged beers, and then really took off into whiskey. But love bourbon barrel aged beer. Any barrel aged beer, really.
Happy to know.
Yeah.
Next door.
What's that?
We'll do that next door.
Yeah. Well, I almost want to see your guys' reaction.
You guys drink whiskey?
Not
You probably don't want them drinking this.
Yeah. Well,
Not right now. after hours.
so a funny story is when Sasquatch in 2015 won a silver medal at the Great American Beer Festival. And that's kind of what put us on the map, is that we knew how to brew good stouts. A big winery out of California, which I won't name on, called me, and I'm not a big wine drinker. And I liked it, but it's not something I drink a lot of. They were like, hey, congratulations, we're going to send you 20 barrels as a gift from us, because the head winemaker, like, he was at the Great American Beer Festival, had that beer, and he was a big craft beer drinker. And so the barrel showed up, and with that, there was a bottle of wine with it. And, you know, the thing is, everybody's got a story, right? Which I love. And there was a bottle of wine in there. He didn't tell me they were sending it. So, same thing. We had our meeting. The barrel showed up. On Monday morning, I opened up the bottle of wine, and I let everybody try it. In the Monday morning meeting, we drank the whole bottle. The head winemaker called, and he goes, the barrel show up, everything looked good. He said, you like your gift that I gave you? I said, the bottle of wine. I said, man, it was phenomenal. He said, wait, you drank it? And I said, yeah. He said, that was a gift for you and your wife to enjoy. That was a $1,500 bottle of wine. He was not happy.
So did you say, hey, I need another one?
Yeah. He was not happy about it. But for me, I mean,
That's how you roll.
my wife was here, and so she got to try it with us.
She was in the building.
Yeah, but she had some of the wine. But we drank that whole bottle at the meeting.
Good for you.
Yeah. So definitely gonna let my guys try.
I mean, this might be $1,500. I don't know.
It could
But
definitely go for $1,000.
But I want you to drink it though. I don't care about anything else.
Sip, we don't flip.
For the birds.
Yeah, we don't flip, we sip.
But it was a good bottle. Not a $1,500 bottle of wine. But anyway.